In this video, I am going to discuss about the concept single inheritance. See the definition first. What is inheritance? It is one of the most important feature of object-oriented programming. And the definition of inheritance is acquiring the properties from one object to another. That is, the capability of a class to derive the properties and characteristics from another class. Deriving a new class from old class. That is a simple definition. The old class is known as a superclass. The newly implemented class is known as subclass. The main important advantage of using inheritance is code reusability. The name itself says reusability means reuse the code. How it is possible? You can inherit the properties from one class to another class. In that particular case, you can add more additional features to the newly implemented class without modifying the existing class structure. That property is known as a code reusability property. Next, different types of inheritances. There are 5 types of inheritances are possible. One is a single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and finally hybrid inheritance. In this particular video, I am going to concentrate about the topic single inheritance. Before that, for implementation of any programming concept, you have to follow some standard structure. That means, first you have to write the definition, and next, if any representation is there, you have to represent that representation part also. That means any diagram. And third case is any syntax or general form. And finally, implementation of a particular concept. So for implementation of any topic, any programming concept, you have to follow that structure. So here also I am following the same structure. First, the definition of a single inheritance. In single inheritance, a class is allowed to inherit from only one class. That means one subclass is inherited by one superclass only. So the process of deriving a new class from only one superclass. The type of inheritance is known as single inheritance. How to represent a single inheritance? See the figure first. Class A and class B. The class B can inherit the properties from class A. The class A is known as a superclass. The class B is known as a subclass. This is the representation part of a single inheritance. So the definition is the process of deriving a new class from only one superclass. That is known as a single inheritance. What is superclass and what is subclass? The superclass means the class whose properties are inherited by subclass is called a superclass. The other name for superclass is a base class or parent class. Similarly, the subclass means the class that inherits the properties from another class, that is known as a subclass. The alternate name for subclass is a derived class or child class. In that particular example, the class A is known as a superclass or a parent class or base class. The class B is subclass or a derived class or child class. Here, one important point is when a derived class can inherit the properties from the base class, the derived class can use all the functions which are defined in base class. So it follows the concept or property called code reusability also. Next, how to define the derived class? That is how to define a newly implemented class. Some syntax is there. The syntax or general form is class derived class name colon visibility mode or access mode space base class name. That is the derived class can inherit the properties from base class. So the concept is how to define a derived class, how to implement a derived class. So it follows some syntax. The syntax is class derived class name colon visibility mode base class name. In that some logic is there. Here the derived class name is the name of the derived class and the base class name is the name of the base class, and the visibility mode means the visibility mode can be either public or private or protected. That is, it specifies whether the features of a base class are publicly inherited or privately inherited or protectedly inherited. So the access mode or visibility mode can be either public, private or protected. So this is the required definition for derived class. Example. Suppose class A and class B. The class A is a superclass. The class B is a subclass. So the class B can inherit the properties from class A. So how to define class B? Class B colon the visibility mode, that is public, base class name is A. So here I am using the visibility mode is public. You can use either private or protected also, okay, depending on the application. So this is a simple example related to syntax. Next, mode of inheritance. Already I discussed it. So how many modes are possible? There are three modes. One is a public mode, protected mode or private mode. So when deriving a class from a base class, the base class may be inherited through public or protected or private inheritance. First case is public mode. So when deriving a class from a public base class, that is if you are using public mode inheritance, what happens? All the public members of a base class becomes public members in derived class. And all the protected members of a base class become protected members in derived class. But what about the private variables? The private variables, the base class private variables are never accessible directly from a derived class. But it can be accessed through calls to the public and protected members of base class. This is one case. So if you are using the public visibility mode, see the picture first here. If you are using the public mode inheritance, all the public members of a base class becomes public members in derived class. And all the protected members of a base class becomes protected members in derived class. That is very, very important. And the next case is protected mode inheritance. So if you are using the visibility mode as a protected, now all the public and protected members of a base class become protected in derived class. Whatever you write in the base class, that is whatever you write in the base class as protected in public, that protected in public part becomes protected in derived class. That is a property. And finally, the private mode inheritance. Suppose if you are using the visibility mode as private, all the public and protected members of a base class becomes private in derived class. Again, I repeat the statement. All the protected and public members of a base class become private in derived class. This is very, very important. So these are the three modes of inheritance for implementing any type. So the visibility mode or access mode can be either public or private or protected. Now, example program for single inheritance concept. See. So before that, you know what is a superclass, what is a subclass, and what is the definition for inheritance, single inheritance also. Based on that, the program structure is there. First, the first two statements, you know that. Hash include IOStream and using namespace std. So the superclass name is A. The superclass or base class or parent class, anything, any notation is used. So the superclass name is A. The subclass name is B. Okay. In superclass A, I am declaring two variables A and B. The two variables are declared in public part. And one more member function is there, that is a set data member function. In that set data member function, what is the use? The set data member function is used to read the variables A and B from the console. So see the logic, C out, enter A and B values, and C in A and B. Read the values A and B using the C in statement. And next, derived class B. So what is inheritance? The inheritance means you can inherit the properties from another class. Similarly, the B can inherit the properties from base class or super class, that is A, using the visibility mode as public. So how to define the derived class? You know the syntax. Class, derived class name, that is a B, colon, visibility mode, public, space, base class name. The base class name is A here. So the B can inherit the properties from class A using the visibility mode public. This is one important point. In the B class, I am declaring one variable C as a private variable. Okay. If I am not mentioning any access specifier, by default it is private, you know. So C is private. And in the public part, I am declaring and defining two member functions, add and display. If you see the definition of display, the display function is used to display the values of A and B, but A and B values are not there in derived class. The A and B values are present in base class, but the derived class can access the base class variables. Why? Because so the derived class can inherit the properties from base class using the visibility mode public. So that is the reason the derived class can access the variables A and B. Similarly, in the function add, you see the statement C equal to A plus B. Only C is present in derived class. A and B is not present in derived class. But the derived class can access the variables A and B. How it is possible? Simple. The derived class can inherit the properties from base class. If you observe the right side part, that is a structure, this structure is very, very important. While implementing any program, any type of inheritance, it is very clear that you have to write the structure part also. So based on the structure, the implementation part is very, very easy. Okay. So superclass structure, the superclass name is A. No private part. In the public part, A, B are the variables and set data is a member function. Yes. Next, derived class structure. The derived class name is a B. Any private variable? Yes, one private variable is there, that is a C of type integer. In the public part, two member functions are present. That is a add is a member function and a display is the member functions are of derived class B. But here A and B variables are also added and a set data function is also added in the structure part. Why? Because simple reason, the B can inherit the properties from A class. So using the visibility mode public. So if you are using the visibility mode public, what happens? All the public members of a base class becomes public members in derived class. If you see the structure of class A, what are the public members? A and B and set data. So all the public members of a base class becomes public members in derived class. So in the derived class B, the public part contains three member functions and two variables, public variables. So the derived class object can directly access the variables A and B and set data function also. That's why I am writing the logic C equal to A plus B, because A, B are public variables, C is a private variables. Yes, C equal to A plus B, it is a valid statement. So the derived class object can access the add function, can access the display function, can access the AB variables also, can access the set data function also. This is the required structure for implementation of a single inheritance. So the structure is very, very important. So next, if you observe the main function, same program, main function. So derived class is a B, object OB. OB.setData, yes, it is a valid statement. OB.setData. The set data is available in class A, but the B can inherit the properties from class A using the visibility mode public. So OB.setData is a valid statement. Similarly, OB.display. In the setData function, I am writing the logic, that is reading the variables from console. That is read the variables A and B from console. And OB.display. In the display, I am displaying the values of A and B. And after that, I am calling the function OB.add. OB.add. Yes. In the add function, I am writing the logic C equal to A plus B. So after that, I am displaying the value of two numbers, that is a C value. So these are the required statement for execution. If you can see the output, first OB.setData, yes, see out, enter A and B values, that is a message, and read the values of A and B, that is a 5, 4. And after that, OB.display, in the display A equal to value and B equal to value, that is A equal to 5, B equal to 4. And finally, OB.add, in the particular add function, I am writing the logic C equal to A plus B, 5 plus 4. And after that, cout statement, addition of two numbers is particular variable C, that is the value is 9. That is the output of this program.